Whoops. Momo, relax. Dang. What's up, chat? How you guys doing? We're back at it again. We are back at it again. Third stream of the day. For one moment, I had accidentally, started the stream with, an old stream title name. So I just, ended the stream, deleted it, restarted it. Hopefully it's actually up and running. Hold on, let me see. I think it is. Let me open the chat on my phone. Okay, yeah, it is. Sick. What's up, everybody? What's up? Obsidian, we spamming streams today. I'm here for it. Yeah, bro, I'm on the grind, man. I've done nothing today but just work on YouTube all day. What's up, Eric? How you doing? What's up, Daniel? How you guys all doing? So, yeah, I was earlier today. Oh, actually, how's the audio sound? Can you guys hear me pretty well? Let me know in the chat if you guys are able to hear me. Because I did not do a audio check before I started this one. Let me know. How's the audio sounding? Is the audio sounding good? Someone in the chat, let me know. Bear Bro said, can we get an Illumi stream? I will do a full-fledged Illumi video, man. Loud and clear. All right, 6. Skyrim after? Probably. But we'll see. I'm not exactly sure yet. But all right, guys. So today we're going to be just legitimately analyzing the Hunter x Hunter hiatuses and just talking about them in depth and analyzing the patterns of them to just see if there's any reason, and all the information we have at the moment, to see if there's any reasonable way of telling when the next Hunter x Hunter chapters will come out. Yeah, we're just going to go in detail yapping about all of that, okay? So first off, before I go through these slides and show you them, there's actually a website that has been dedicated to keeping track of all of the hiatuses in Hunter x Hunter. It is an insanely wild amount of hiatuses, and it's crazy. It's just looking at this hiatus chart brings back memories, because I remember when I got caught up on the manga. So I've been caught up on this manga since I had said before in a stream I thought I got caught up at 15, but I think it was 15, maybe 16 at the latest, and I'm 28 right now. So it was 12 to 13 years ago. So it was around right here was when I got caught up. I remember when I first got caught up in the manga, I remember the anime was either still I think the anime was still going. I think it had 5 episodes, maybe. I don't remember how many episodes were left, but it was still going. And then I read the manga, got caught up, and then the last thing I saw was them saying Gon didn't have Nen anymore, and I was just real mad about that. And then after a while, we got Hisoka versus Chrollo chapters, and down here it tells you when the chapters came out. Okay, yeah, because I remember when these ones came out, 350 to 360. That was Hisoka versus Chrollo. I remember reading that weekly. So that was 2016. That was 9 years ago. How old was I back then? That was 18. 18, 19. I remember reading these ones weekly. But yeah, so 2016, that was I think I got caught up around this mark. So every one of these squares represents a week. There's 52, and this shows you there's some entire years that Togashi didn't release a chapter. But I got caught up around here in this area, and then I went through this and then just started experiencing the hiatuses in all their glory. We'll go more in detail about that, but here's the thing. Here's a pattern that I noticed. It seems like he takes about 2 years off, and then he releases 10 chapters, enough to make 1 volume, and then takes another 2 years off. Ever since I've been caught up, that's about been what he's done. I got caught up Like, it was around here. I remember these were the Hisoka chapters right here. Hisoka versus Chrollo was right here. Then it was like he took like about a year off. Yeah, because it was like this was 1 year. Right here would have been 1 year. So he came back like a year later, did a little bit, took a long time off again. And then from 2018, it was like 1 full year, 2 full years. He took 3 full years off here. And then almost 4 full years. But then right at the end of 2022, he wrote a couple chapters, got 1 volume off, took another hiatus off for a year. Boom. So it's kind of, the hiatuses are really all over the place, but it's kind of like an average of he writes 1 volume, then takes 2 years off, writes 1 volume, takes 2 years off. So the most recent chapters we just got were the end of last year. Like, this is actually off a little bit. Like, if you look at Viz, I'll come back to this in a second. If you look at Viz, it tells you this chapter was released on Viz December 8th of 2024. That was the last one we got. So, I mean, I think the next chapters we get will be somewhere in the range of 2 years from now. But there's a couple things that are different about this hiatus from all the other hiatuses. I have some slides here to show you what I mean, okay? So, with this hiatus, like all the other hiatuses that I've endured, it was just like you were enjoying the chapters, and then right when you got to chapter 10, you knew that you were about to go through another hiatus, and then he would just be gone. You would get no, and I'm not talking about Freaks either. He would just like stop doing everything. No communication. We didn't get any information at all. He would just vanish, and you just didn't know when you were going to get another one, and years would go by, and you would randomly get 10 more. This is the first hiatus he's gone on from within the time of me being caught up. So over the past like 10 years, this is the first hiatus where he said, where he gave us information before going on hiatus. He left this message. He said, and this is like a mistranslation where it says the word episodes. It's meant to say chapters, I think. But it's like, we are currently checking and adjusting the dialogue and timeline for the next 50 chapters that will be published. Once that's finished, I plan to resume inking the manuscript, which I had left off. Okay, and then he posted that on December 16th, just a little bit after like dropping chapter 410. Okay, and then he was on he's been on hiatus ever since. So like, this hiatus is a little bit different because he's saying that they had the next 50 chapters, like a plan for them. This hiatus is the least painful hiatus I've been through. All the other hiatuses, it was just like he was just gone and we had no information, like nothing at all. This time we get the information that they were at least working on the next 50 chapters. And it says we, that might be a mistranslation, but it implies that it's like him and his assistants like working together on this stuff. Another thing that's kind of encouraging is he says he plans to resume inking the manuscript, which I had left off. So a manuscript that's like, he wrote out the ideas, right? Like it's kind of like a book version of Hunter x Hunter. Bro, if I'm being 100% honest, if he just wants to write the rest of the manuscript and not ink anything and just release the manuscript of Hunter x Hunter, I'd be extremely happy with that. I would buy that as a book, bro. I'd spend $300 on that. I'm not even joking, bro. I'm not even joking, bro. If he, like, am I alone in that? I don't think I'm alone in that. Like, imagine if Togashi... Well, let me Google the exact definition of manuscript to make sure I'm on the right track here. Manuscript definition. Yeah, that's what I thought. So a manuscript is a book, document, or piece of written material, okay? So, like, the manuscript for Hunter x Hunter is essentially the book ideas for Hunter x Hunter. Like, the plot of Hunter x Hunter written out in words with no drawings to go with it. Just imagine this. Imagine if Togashi never drew another chapter, never did another drawing. He just did the manuscript for the rest of Hunter x Hunter. It explains everything that happens with Gon, Killua, all those guys, and there's zero drawings. Would anyone else buy that? I would personally spend like hundreds of bucks on that. Me personally, I would. I would prefer that over getting 10 chapters and then waiting 2 to 3 years and then getting another 10 chapters. I totally would personally. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but Yeah, it's just this hiatus is a little different because we actually have some information on it. That they were at least starting to work on 50 chapters. A lot of the what's up, Romas? How you guys doing? Mongoose, you said, or just pay an artist to illustrate it. That would also be great. Especially since, like, if you guys read the Hisoka backstory, they've already done stuff like that already. Like, they had the author of Tokyo Ghoul draw an entire backstory for Hisoka that Togashi himself read and, like, enjoyed and said that he wanted to expand on it himself. So it's not officially canon, but it's like kind of somewhat. And it was drawn by a different artist, and it feels kind of like Hunter x Hunter anyway. Codename Zero, you said not a bad take. Thank you, bro. But yeah, so just talking about this one. Wait, hold on. Was there one more thing you guys said to me? Alash, you said, oh, that reminds me. What do you think of Gyro or whatever his name is? I'll talk about Gyro in a little bit. To be honest, I don't know if we'll ever get the Gyro plot line expanded on. It might just be something that just like wavers in the distance. But talking about this hiatus, it's different than the others because we actually have a bit of information about, like, they were working on other things before the hiatus happened. And I remember people read this and they were like, oh, bro, we're going to get 50 chapters. And then, like, a week later, he went on hiatus after this. So here's kind of my rule of thumb with Hunter x Hunter. I never get excited by new chapters anymore. It's kind of just my rule of thumb. I never get excited just because, like, I have been through many years. I've been through like 12 years of these hiatuses, man. I was excited. The last time I got excited when we got new chapters was the Hisoka versus Crollo one. After I went through 2 years of no information for a chapter, and then, like, every single day typing into Google like a madman, like, Hunter x Hunter new information, Hunter x Hunter new chapter information, any new information on the chapters, Hunter x Hunter new chapter leaks. You do that every day for a couple months and you just get burnt out, and you reach a point where, like, you no longer feel excitement when the chapters drop. That's what happened to me anyway. So now for me, the only way I'll actually feel genuine excitement from a new Hunter x Hunter chapter is if I see Kurapika fight the Fourth Prince, or if I see Gon, like, training as Nen, and, like, developing a new ability, or if I see the Phantom Troop fight Hisoka. Those are the only three things that would excite me about Hunter x Hunter. Nothing else excites me in the new chapters. I just kind of read them just because they're new, but I never feel excitement from them just because I've been through so many hiatuses that became my coping mechanism. I had to just, like, go numb to the series, basically. The new chapters, like, I've said this in other streams before. The way I view the new chapters, bro, in my mind, Hunter x Hunter is already complete, and it won't actually continue until one of those three things I mentioned happens. So, what's up, Anime Monarch? But yeah. This hiatus is a little different. This implies that they were actually at least working on something. It's different than the other hiatuses because the other ones, we had no idea if there was anything else happening. It was just, we were getting chapters one day and then nothing for years. So yeah, this one's a little different. Now, here's something else. Like, this is actually the very last thing Togashi ever posted. This was on December 20th, and it was like a manuscript, like, sketch drawing he did. And it's interesting because if you look at chapter 410, let's go to chapter 410. It's exactly this page here on the right. Like, look at this page on the right. It's the exact same as this, like, rough sketch. You can see it's like you got two people guarding a door. And you look at this, you got two people guarding a door. And if you, like, count up the speech bubbles on the bottom, like, look at these bottom two speech bubbles on the right-hand page. Those match up really well with these bottom speech bubbles. It's like, it looks like that was a rough version of this page. Okay? So yeah, it's like, I don't really, like, people were looking at this. People were looking at this drawing and they're like, oh, look, Togashi's doing more new stuff. But it's actually just, like, a old sketch of a page from chapter 410. So don't get too excited about that. That's, like, the latest thing we got. Yeah, and I'll just put it back over to the hiatus chart. So will Hunter x Hunter continue? The answer is, I'll word it like this. We never know, okay? We actually don't know. What I think will happen is that within the next 2 years, we'll get a couple chapters. Like the whole 50 chapter thing, I don't actually believe that. I personally don't actually believe it. That's just me being honest. Like, if we really look at it, they were saying like they're adjusting the dialogue and the timeline for the next 50 chapters that will be published. So like that doesn't even mean they're complete. Like they're still in progress. That means like there's the dialogue and like the date of release for the next 50 chapters are not published. Like that's kind of like me saying, oh, I got the next 50 videos planned out. I have ideas for the next 50 videos, but like they're nowhere close to created yet. So I don't know. Like I'll just explain my mentality as a Hunter x Hunter fan is what I said earlier. In my mind, this is a completed story, and the story will not actually continue in my mind until I see one of the three things I mentioned. If I see Gon training his Nen, if I see Hisoka fighting a Phantom Troop member, or if I see Kurapika fighting the Fourth Prince, then Hunter x Hunter has officially continued in my opinion. Because like, it's one thing if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan and you just got caught up in the past like 2 years and you went through one hiatus, you might be hopeful about when the next one will happen. It's a completely different thing if you're a Hunter x Hunter fan like me. You got caught up in 2015. You went through a year of absolutely 0 chapters every day, hoping there'd be a new one. Then 2016, you finally get 10 new chapters and you get a slight bit of joy, and then it's just gone again for another year, no information. You go through it again, and then it was about 2017 was when I went numb to Hunter x Hunter, and then I just like expected hiatuses. From here on, I just expected them. So it's like once you go through that many of them, especially this whole era, 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, almost nothing at all. My mind has just, that's how I have coped with Hunter x Hunter. It's like, to me, unless I see Gon training using Nen, or I see Kurapika fighting the Fourth Prince, or I see Hisoka fighting a Phantom Troop member, it is not actually continued. Like, because from my perspective, we got left on a cliffhanger over 10 years ago. Like, think about it from my perspective for a second. 10 years back when I got caught up, like the latest thing I saw was them saying Gon can't use Nen. And then me every day thinking, okay, we're going to get an explanation of that, right? We're going to see the main character use Nen again, right? Thinking that every day for months and months, looking for any bit of information for months and months, getting nothing. 10 years later, there's still nothing. If you were me and you still were like actively thinking every day, oh yeah, we're definitely getting new stuff, then it just doesn't really logically make sense. It's like after a certain point, I just had to move on, you know? So, and these hiatuses actually, bro, these are the reason why this is not my favorite manga. And I would actually go ahead and say this. I would say this should not be your favorite manga. I would actually go that far and say that. Because, well, I don't know. It depends on the person, right? Because if you're someone like me, my favorite manga, I like to deeply analyze them. I like to think about like the next thing all the time. I like to have deep discussions on them and stuff like that. And that's fine and dandy when you have a series that's like continuing, or it like has a proper conclusion. But when you have a series like this one where the main character got left on an insane cliffhanger 10 actual real life years ago, and you have no idea if that cliffhanger is ever going to be truly resolved, I would like, for me, that's why Hunter x Hunter is not my favorite manga. My favorite manga is One Piece. My favorite manga is One Piece, but Hunter x Hunter is my favorite anime. Like, the anime itself kind of feels like a complete story. So I have Hunter x Hunter as my favorite anime, and in my mind, I just like pretend that it's a completed manga, and I just enjoy the stuff we have. I have some theories for how powerful Gon and Killua would have became, like, just from the different foreshadowing throughout the series. It seems like Gon has more potential than Jing, and it seems like Killua has relative potential to Gon, so it's like, I visualize end of the series, Gon, Killua will both be stronger than Meruem, and they'll have crazy abilities, and I can just kind of visualize what that looks like. That's how I deal with it. Another thing I would say is, yeah, I guess this is just like the Hunter x Hunter like therapy cope sesh portion because bro, the reason I'm saying this is because like I can vividly remember being like 18 years old, just actually angry at the manga, bro. I vividly remember that being like actually genuinely mad because when all you had left was like the latest chapters is you see Gon and Killua go their separate ways. You have no idea when they're gonna reunite. You got Gon can't use Nen, and then you get no chapters for years. I remember being very angry about Hunter x Hunter in that time, and I've had people in the chat say like things that reminded me of like when I was 18. Like I saw someone said like, bro, sometimes reading Hunter x Hunter feels like being in a toxic relationship. I heard someone said that. And I remember I used to think stuff like that too when I was like 18, 17, 19. But the way I've like coped with Hunter x Hunter and still enjoy it as a fan is by doing the things I was saying earlier. Also another thing is like just reading other manga has helped me a lot, quite frankly. Like you get into I mean you realize there's other manga that do like what Hunter x Hunter does as well. Like maybe not exactly the same, but also does them really well. Like JoJo has really elaborate battles. One Piece has insane lore. If you want to see a story where it like has a quote unquote dark continent and like actually explores it, One Piece does that, but also the manga Toriko does that. Toriko has like a lot of Hunter x Hunter like type inspiration in it. Especially like the whole concept of the dark continent. Like Toriko actually has like the same exact thing and they actually explore it. So I read Toriko, that helped me deal with it. And Toriko's actually complete. And then there's just like a bunch of other manga out there that are just, you know, you should read those. You read those and it helps you with like dealing with the hiatuses, quite frankly. And then just enjoy the story for what we have. Cause like in my mind now, bro, I'm happy with what we have with Hunter x Hunter. Like I don't need the new chapters now. Cause there is a point where I like would think to myself, I need to see what's gonna happen next. I need to see like Gon and Killua reach their full strength, their full potential. I need to see them go to the Dark Continent. But I realize like that's not something I actually control. But what I can control is like the other manga that I can read. And I can control like analyzing the series that does exist there. That's something that I actually like about making videos on Hunter x Hunter. And doing power scaling for it and having debates with all of doing debates for it. One of the things I like about it is it leads me to noticing things in the manga that I had never noticed before. And whenever that happens, it's almost like reading a new chapter. Because it's like I'm looking at the story and looking at like Togashi's work and noticing something completely different in it. That's why I like doing power scaling videos. That's why I like doing discussions on it. That's different than theory crafting to me. I'm not really a big fan of like Hunter x Hunter theory videos because when I watch a theory video, to me, it just sounds like someone who's not as good of an author as Togashi just yapping like made up stuff. But when I watch a like well-made Hunter x Hunter power scaling video, I'm like, oh, you know, that's a genuine fact about Hunter x Hunter that Togashi wrote that I just never noticed. It's like it really does feel like reading a new chapter. Like Bromus is in the chat. One time Bromus pointed out to me that Meruem, like post Rose Meruem, he evolved Poof's scale abilities and like mixed Poof's scales into his N. So technically Meruem has a light speed attack because he can fire his N at the speed of light. And I had never noticed that before. I've been reading this manga for like 12 years, never noticed that. And I'm like, oh, that like opened up a new piece of the story to me. And it felt like I was reading a new chapter when he pointed that out. Even though it was there the whole time, it felt new. So like that's, you know, like just discussing Hunter x Hunter, what exists right now, and like analyzing what exists right now, that's another way you can like cope with the hiatuses. Also, I mean, a third thing is like just straight up making YouTube videos on Hunter x Hunter, the stuff that exists. That's another thing that helps me like straight up cope with the hiatuses, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I'm saying all of this just because I can vividly remember when I was like 18, 19, just being so frustrated, bro. I vividly remember it. Like I vividly remember just like being borderline obsessed with how cool this manga is, and just so badly wanting new content for it, and there was just nothing. And I would go on YouTube and try and find like any kind of Hunter x Hunter video. No one was doing Hunter x Hunter power scaling 10 years ago. The best you could find was people doing like Hunter x Hunter review videos, and then YouTubers just straight up lying to. I remember back in 2016 or 2015, 2016, YouTubers being like, bro, don't worry, bro. We're about to get like 100 chapters, dog. He's been spending all this time on the hiatus. We're about to get so many chapters, bro. And then you see 10 years later, we got about 20, bro. Like, you know, like, or people just doing reviews, or people just doing theory crafting. I didn't really see a lot of people doing deep dive analysis and power scaling on it. But I've realized now, like, doing that makes me feel like I'm getting a new chapter. But yeah, it's like, I say, like, also me deeply wanting new stuff from Hunter x Hunter was like kind of taking away my enjoyment of the stuff that's already there. Like, now I've reached a point where I'm content with the series as it is now. I'm truly content with the series as it is. And if we get new chapters, that's great. Another thing I could talk about real quick is that Togashi himself released like an ending to the manga. He said he had a list of like 4 different possible endings, and they ranged in like terms of how much he thought people would like them. And he released an ending that he thought like most fans would like. But if Hunter x Hunter ever does get an ending, that might not be the ending he goes with. And he left it very vague too. He left it vague. Would you guys want me to talk about that ending really quick? I could if you wanted me to. Let me know in the chat if you guys want me to talk about the Hunter x Hunter ending. I could analyze that real quick for you guys. But to summarize it, will we get a new chapter? The answer is none of us know. But I lean towards thinking that within the next 2 years, we'll get another volume. Because the reason like we're getting 10 chapters released and then long breaks is because 10 chapters is 1 volume. So Togashi is like releasing 1 volume, taking like 2 years off, releasing another volume, taking 2 years off, like that. You guys are saying you want me to talk about the ending? Okay, hold up. Let me pull it up on my phone right now. And I'll just read it off to you guys. Okay, I'm pulling up the ending on my phone. Video of the TV shows. Wait, what the heck is this? Revealed a version of the ending if he's unable to finish it. Okay, this is pretty long. Okay, so I'm going to start reading through the ending that he released, and we can just analyze it. Okay, so Togashi says for the ending, he prepared 3 different possible endings, ranging from how much the viewers would like it. He said ending A is deemed like 50% satisfactory, 20% unsatisfactory. This does not imply a high rating, but for me, reaching it will be secure in a way that doesn't complicate matters with excessive criticism, in my belief. As for ending B, opinions will be divided similarly between satisfaction and dissatisfaction. So it would be like 50-50. For ending C, I anticipate a satisfaction rate of 10%, and most people will dislike it with a dissatisfaction rate of 90%. Why do I keep it present even with a high rate of dissatisfaction? That's because it's my personal preference, but fundamentally I want to think to the utmost extent about an ending to the point where I might not choose any of these 3 and create what I find most enjoyable, which is my ideal goal. So like essentially he's just listing out like he has multiple different ending possibilities, and there's a chance he won't use any of them. He might just like wing it intuitively when he reaches these chapters. And then he says, to give you a clearer picture, I have a 4th scenario called Scenario D. Like this is the 4th possible ending, which fell out of candidate scenarios for the ending. Like this is one he doesn't even, he doesn't even consider that he'll actually use this one. So essentially what he was saying is he had a bunch of different possible endings. But A, B, and C, ending A, B, and C, those are like the top three choices. So one of them is like most people will like it. The second one is like it'll be 50-50, half the fan base will like it, half will dislike it. And then the third one is like most of the fans will hate the ending. And then this is ending number 4. One that like isn't in his top 3 endings, but he said, I'll just share this one. And if I don't ever write an ending, just, what does he say? He says, no, this is just ending number 4. And he said, if I never write the ending, like you could consider this one the ending. And here's ending number 4, okay? So he says, here, I'll just summarize it. It said there, next to the lake, a girl named Jin. So this girl's name's Jin, and it's implied that she's like the ancestor or descendant of Gon. She might be Gon's daughter or Gon's like granddaughter. And she's fishing, and she catches the Lord of the Lake the same way that Gon did. Okay, so this is probably Gon's daughter or Gon's granddaughter. And she lifts the Lord of the Lake onto her shoulders and stands before a woman saying, as I promised, I caught the Lord of the Lake, Mom. And then she approaches the woman and passionately declares, you must not tell me again, you must become a hunter. Here, this is actually a pretty long ending, but I'll just keep reading through it. I'll summarize pieces of it. Oh, snap. Hold up. I just noticed something. Let me just read this part. She says, the woman with no tricks left nods her head. Jin, still carrying the Lake of the Lord on her shoulder, walks away. The mother comments to her husband that Jin's dream is to never leave the island and inherit their place. The father agrees, laughing, and the mother expresses her dissatisfaction, saying, perhaps her desires will change later, but I want to know, you and Jin, why are you like this? Surely it's because of the blood of Grandma Mito and Grandma NoKo. The reason I said, oh snap, NoKo is the name of a girl in Gon's village. Like if you got, like I did a live stream earlier. The Gon said that there was one girl in his village that was the same age as him, and her name was NoKo. And this girl Jin, she is NoKo's granddaughter. Either granddaughter or great-granddaughter. Okay, so that implies like Gon might have had a kid with NoKo. The woman seems unaware that Grandma Mito and Grandma Moto are not related by blood. Wait, what? What the heck? Okay, that just threw me off. I actually don't know now. And also, it seems like this might be a fan translation of the ending. So maybe some adjectives and stuff are slightly off, but let me keep going. And the father smiles knowingly. The woman expresses her unwillingness as a mother, adds, but, oh, here we go. It says, but Grandpa Gon was a famous hunter, and this girl will one day leave the island. Okay, so Gon, like, has children and becomes a famous hunter. So, like, the things you can imply from that means, and I'm going to make a video on, like, does Gon still have his Nen? But the answer is yes, he still does have his Nen. He just can't see it for some reason, or sense or of other people either, which is a bit odd, but I'll make a video on that. But this means, like, Gon does something to become a famous hunter after this. Like, unless you think Gon was a famous hunter from just what he did at age 12, but I don't think that's enough, since he didn't even get, like, a single star. He is, like, known as Jing's son, but it seems like Gon gets his Nen back, like his full abilities, and goes on to have like his own set of hunter adventures, right? And becomes a famous hunter. He pretty much just becomes Jing himself. And then it says, Jin insists, I will never leave. Although she is no longer visible in the heart of the forest, she hears her parents' conversation and responds defiantly. The father, amused, says, you have a sharp eye. The scene changes to the shop, continuing its work from Mito's days. The Lake Lord has been cleanly cut. Jin thinks to herself while working, Mom never understands. When Grandpa speaks joyfully about his memories of being a hunter, Grandma NoKo quietly moves away from her seat. Every time Grandpa Gon affirms, her belief is heard from someone. So, wait, hold on. She strikes the cutting board forcefully with a knife. I'm tired of this. To wait for someone's return after months and years of sadness crushes my heart. I make someone wait for me. So, that implies, like, Gon. So, okay. So, if you, in the series right now, Gon is in the village, like, studying, being homeschooled. He probably meets up with NoKo and, like, maybe they, like, form a friendship during this time. Then Gon goes off, becomes a hunter again, and just leaves NoKo behind for years. But then eventually retires as a hunter. Or he's still a hunter and he's just talking about memories that he had in his previous hunts. Something like that. Maybe Gon becomes a family man or something. So he's a little different than Jing. There's a bunch of different ways you could interpret that. And they say, I'm tired of this. The wait for someone's return after months and years of sadness crushes my heart. So that means, like, there's times where Gon left her for years on adventures. Maybe the Dark Continent mission. Maybe this is a Gon who conquered the Dark Continent. That's possible. Like, one way I could see that all making sense and lining up is Gon meets NoKo during his homeschool arc. They form a friendship. And then he's like, all right, I got my Nen. I'm going to the Dark Continent, and he leaves for years and then comes back years later. Like, that could be what NoKo's referring to. All right. Let me continue reading this. Then the door opens and a warm voice echoes. A chubby child enters holding a plant. The child exclaims, I caught the Lake Lord for real. Well, let's honor the whole island with it. Jin replies, I always wanted to be with the person I want to be with, together always. The child agrees. Yes, both of them with broad smiles on their faces. And cook the food. A bird flies away from the island over a town and its people. The son of one of them, the daughter of another, and the grandchild of another live in different places, exchanging smiles. They might be the children of that character and the grandchildren of that character. The bird flies away into the distance. In the background, a figure watches the scene. The end. So the figure is probably gone. You guys said read chat. Sorry, I was reading the backstory on my phone, so I couldn't see the chat. But yeah, I mean, that is the version of the ending. But, like, the thing is, dude, it's so vague. We don't really know which character is which. We don't know how Gon ended up with NoKo, or if there was someone else. But it seems like Gon ends up, like, marrying NoKo, having kids with NoKo in the future. She said that there was a time where he was gone for months and years. And he says, like, he has memories of being a hunter. And he's a world famous hunter. So, like, if you put all that together, if you lowball it, maybe... Well, it's like Gon's whole adventure wasn't even multiple years long. Like, what we saw in the story, he left to become a hunter when he was, like, about to turn 12. And then when he comes back, he's still 12. So, like, when they're saying Gon for years, it couldn't be referring to that. So it's like, that means Gon, after this, like, homeschool arc, leaves again. And then goes off and, like, becomes a famous hunter after all that. Crawler, you said, I didn't listen when he said, who is NoKo? NoKo's explained, hold on, let me find the chapter on my phone. I can pull it up for you. But wait, you guys were saying read chat. What did you want me to read? Bromus, you said, Ding, Don, Jing, Gon, Jin, only female, John. I think Jin is Gon's, like, granddaughter. Wait, was there anything else that I missed? Crawler said that's kind of a mid-ending. Yeah, and it's also very vague. Like, we don't know, like, what Gon did to become a famous hunter. We don't know, like, what mission he went on that he was gone for years. It was probably the Dark Continent, though. Daniel, you said, do you think we will get a time skip soon in the manga after a succession war at the new continent while they prep for the real Dark Continent voyage? Really, I don't, man. I don't. Like, I'll say this. If Hunter x Hunter, if we were getting chapters every week, then I would say yes. But since we're getting chapters, 10 chapters every 2 years on average, I don't. No, yeah, NoKo was the girl on the only girl that was the same age as Gon on Whale Island. So like they're saying grandpa Gon and grandma NoKo. That like implies that like Gon married that girl. I'm gonna like pull up the chapter on my phone, see if I can find it. What chapter was it? It was like 54 or something. It was right after the Heaven's Arena arc. I'm gonna pull it up on my phone and I can show you guys when they mention NoKo. Trying to get the exact page. Okay, so it's not 54. It might have been like 58. Let me try 58. Okay, it's not 58 either. Let me try like 61. How's 61 looking? All right, nope, Gon's still fighting Hisoka. Let's try 64. Oh, it is 64. Okay, hold on, let me go to 64. This is where NoKo is like first mentioned. Where is it? Right here. So he said there are a few permanent... stuttering a lot. There are few permanent residents, and the only other kid was a little girl called NoKo. I've always been homeschooled. So like, yeah, this whole ending that I just read off to you guys, he's constantly like, it's multiple times referring to Grandma NoKo and Grandpa Gon. This implies that like in the ending that Togashi released, like Gon married her. Let me just double check. Like they call her Grandma NoKo. Okay. Yeah, like okay, so I'm reading the ending again, so it's in this paragraph here. Like it starts up with this girl named Jin. She's getting a fish, like the Lord of the Lake, so she has superhuman strength like Gon. So she's like Gon's granddaughter probably. And she carries the Lord of the Lake to her mother. And her mother wants her to become a hunter, I think. Hold on. Because it says, let me read this part again. It says, like Jin. So Jin skillfully lifts the Lord of the Lake onto her shoulders and stands before a woman. And then she says, as I promised, I caught the Lord of the Lake, Mom. So the woman in front of Jin is Jin's mother. And then it says Jin approaches the woman. So the woman is her mom. So it should mean like Jin approaches her mom and passionately declares, you must not tell me again. You must become a hunter. So, okay. So it might be like the reverse of what Gon did. This might be the reverse of what Gon did, because like in chapter 1, Gon is catching the Lord of the Lake to become a hunter. But like it seems like Jin, she's catching the Lord of the Lake so that she can stay on the island. Anime Monarch says, what does how often we get chapters have to do with whether or not there's going to be a time skip? Because we're still building things up. We're still building things up in the manga, bro. Like, I'll put it to you like this, man. The things you guys are asking me right now, people were asking this 10 years ago. Just think about that for a second. Just really soak that in for a minute here. Like all the stuff you guys are saying right now, people had these exact same discussions 10, 12 years ago, guys. Really just think about that, because I remember having these discussions 10 years ago. Like I remember when the chapter came out where Gon said that he can't use Nen anymore. Like some of the big theories and big ideas people were saying is, oh, they're gonna have a time skip and Gon's gonna come back way stronger, bro. Way stronger. That was 10 years ago, guys. And 10 years later, what's happening? We're still just building things up in the succession war. So if you're saying like, why, what does us barely getting chapters have to do with if there's going to be a time skip? Brother, we've been saying there's going to be a time skip for 10 years. Crawler just said, unk. True, bro, because it's like, I mean, that's the thing I think a lot of people that are not really taking into account. Everything you guys are saying right now about Hunter x Hunter, we've been saying this for 10 years and we still don't have answers. It's because we're not getting very many chapters, guys. Like, it's just as simple as that. So if we were getting chapters weekly, yes, I think we would have a time skip. I think like a reasonable point for a time skip in Hunter x Hunter would be like 30, 40 chapters from now, or maybe like around chapter 450. But at the current rate, we're literally getting 10 chapters every 2 years, bro. Chapter 3, like, look at this, man. Hisoka versus Crollo. Well, like, look at these, bro. Good. I remember these days, man. Hold up. When did chapter 344 come out? Because I remember, like, I'll come back to this. What chapter is this? 64. I remember reading this. I think it was 343. Oh no, wait, 343 or 334? Oh, it was 43. Is it this? It's the one after it. This. I remember reading this when it was new. This right here. I remember reading this chapter when it was new, bro. This one. I remember reading this when it was new, and then peace out, bromas. And all the stuff you guys were saying, people were saying it back here. This was like 12 years back, bro. Like, let's see, I remember this being new, and I remember I think I was still in high school, and I read this because I vividly remember being angry, bro. Like, I remember reading this, I'm like, what do you mean? What the heck does that mean, bro? I remember being mad about that. Like, let me look and see when this says that came out. So let's see. That's 343. So like 340 was in 2011, and then 350 was in 2016. So somewhere in between here. Somewhere in between here. I think, does it say it? Wait, hold on. Let's look at the dates again. It said in between 2011 and 2014. So 2011, it was somewhere around here, bro. Or he didn't update this all the way. Oh yeah, right here. Because I was reading it like weekly right here, bro. In 2014, 343, and I remember reading that being triggered, bro. I vividly remember that. Because like no one on YouTube had an answer to that. Bro, if you're an OG, you'll know some of these names. I remember watching For Never World's review to it. I vividly remember like seeing that chapter being so mad. And I'm like, someone has to have an answer to this. And I read For Never World's chapter review. I watched that, and I watched Sawyer 7 Mage, and I might have watched King of Lightning 2 back then. And just no one knew what was going on. And then a couple weeks later, we went on a like almost 2-year-long hiatus. So like, so bro, can you imagine what that was like for us? like just like put yourself in like my and all the other like 25+ year old people's shoes, bro. Like if you're 25 years old or older, you've been an anime fan for a minute, you probably like went through this exact same experience that I went through. Because I remember reading that weekly being like, there's no way we're going on another hiatus after that. Because people were saying like, okay, so maybe Gon's a specialist now, or maybe there's going to be a time skip, Gon's going to come back way stronger, or all these different theories. And we had 2 years of nothing, bro. Look at this. It was like we went on a 1 week break, he came back, another 1 week break, he left for, this is 1 full year. That's a year, and then minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 2 years minus 16 weeks. So that's a year and 40 weeks of hiatus after seeing Gon say he can't use Nen. You go through that, you just start to become numb to like wanting new chapters. Like that was really the moment where I just stopped wanting them. I mean, I think this was the last time I ever felt genuine excitement. Yeah, no, it was right here. We got the Hisoka versus Chrollo fight, and then he was gone again for another year, and that was when I was like, okay, my last like semblance of like true genuine excitement for the new chapters is gone now. That's how that happened. And so like now, like when the new chapters come out, like I had to develop some kind of coping mechanism. So I just said, all right, well, in my mind this series is done, and any new chapters we get, they will not be real new chapters to me unless I see Gon using Nen, or I see Kurapika fight the Fourth Prince, or I see Hisoka versus a Phantom Troop member. That's like how my mind has like operated with the series for the past, like, from here on. I know, Chip, I am going over the same thing again. I know. That's kind of what it's like to be a Hunter x Hunter fan, brother. ChatGPT helped you kick your Hunter x Hunter obsession. I guess, yeah, you could just like type into ChatGPT, how do you think the series would end, and get something like that. Snailium, I am too. I'm happy we at least got Hisoka versus Chrollo. Bro has PTSD. Well, yeah, it's just because like, bro, I can see with like other Hunter x Hunter fans, people will ask me like, do I think we're going to get a time skip? Do I think we're going to get this? Do I think this? Do I think that? It's like, brother, people have been saying that for so long. So I just try to explain to you like my mentality, what happened, and why I am the way I am now. Gyro, do you like the current arc? It's all right. I mean, I think it's pretty cool, but I don't care about it even half as much as I do about like Gon actually having Nen. That's just me being honest. I don't care about it even half as much as that. Or like once they're on the Dark Continent, that'll be cool. But the Succession War, like the princes fighting each other, that's cool writing and everything. But I don't care about it as much as I care about like seeing Gon actually use Nen. Like, because I mean, just imagine that in any other series. Like imagine, let's say you got One Piece, right? Let's say that after Marineford, Luffy's like, yeah, I can't punch anymore. I lost my ability to punch and kick. And then we just go 10 years of following Sanji. And people will be like, well, do you like this new Sanji arc? I mean, I guess, but I want Luffy to be able to throw hands. I mean, any other, like, just envision this same exact thing for any other series. Like a cliffhanger of that magnitude for 10 years, and like ask yourself like how you would be with that. Daniel D says, so what I'm hearing is we've got infinite content to put into video form that's already been covered in the past. Kind of. I mean, the Hunter x Hunter power scaling verse is kind of evergreen. Like this whole time I've been like a fan of Hunter x Hunter, there hasn't really been a lot of Hunter x Hunter power scalers. So that's kind of a wide open field. Hunter x Hunter power scaling is like fresh. Hunter x Hunter analysis is fresh. Because like for the past 10 years, what people have really done is just Hunter x Hunter theory videos. A lot of people just did Hunter x Hunter theory videos. Alexander, you said you're hyped to see Jing. Bro, we haven't seen Jing in like 50 chapters, brother. Last chapter we saw Jing was 344. We're on 410. I'd be hyped to see Jing too if he was showing up. But like, I'm just saying, like, this is how I cope with Hunter x Hunter. Like, if you guys can still be like, you know what, tomorrow's the day we're gonna get an announcement, we're gonna get a chapter tomorrow, and you can still like genuinely enjoy the series that way, then you know, do that. It's just for me personally, I can't. For me personally, I had to tell myself, like, the series is done. I'm very content with how the series is. If we get new chapters, that's great, but I'm not considering them real unless it's one of the 3 categories I said before. And it's like, I can theory craft for myself how I think the series will end. We had that one ending. Gyro, are you hyped for Beyond? Yeah, I mean, but if we actually saw him, bro, like, we haven't seen Beyond in like 50 chapters either. I only care about Pariston. Bro, we haven't seen him in like 50 chapters. All we're seeing are the princes and Kurapika. And so it's like, I love Hunter x Hunter, but like I said, it needs to be one of the 3 main plot lines happening for me to be excited, bro. So yeah, I mean, like, when I heard that people were saying, oh yeah, we're getting 50 new chapters, bro, when I tell you I didn't believe it for a second, I literally mean I didn't believe it for a second. Snailium, you said, I'll take what we get. I'm desperate. Bro, like, that's what I'm saying, man. It's like, I don't want to live my life desperate for new chapters, bro. Because there's so many great manga out there that you can just read that are complete and you can enjoy them. And I'm a Kurapika fan too, so I do like the stuff we've seen with Kurapika's powers. That was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, for me, I'm happy with where Hunter x Hunter's at, and like, if I at this point, I just want Togashi to be happy, to be healthy, and to enjoy his life, man. That's what I really want. I want him to be happy and healthy, you know. But if I could get like my absolute wish, bro, I would want him to just write out the rest of Hunter x Hunter as a book. Just write it out as a book. I will read it as a book, bro. You don't have to draw another picture, bro. I will read every word. I'll make 10,000 videos on it. That's what I'd like. But yeah, I mean, I hope that, because, you know, bro, I know I'm not the only one who felt that way as a Hunter x Hunter fan. I know I'm not the only one who is like, you so badly wanted a new chapter that every day you would like Google, like, hey, any new Hunter x Hunter news? Any new Hunter x Hunter chapter leaks? And like, I know I'm not the only one who did that. It's like people might not admit it, but I know that I'm not the only one who did that, bro. Because I remember being like 18 doing that every day for like a month, bro. And it's like, if you're in that position right now, the coping mechanisms that I used, maybe they can help you, bro. And just a quick summary of them one more time. Like I already said, just pretend, like how I pretend it's already done. Read some other manga, man. I highly recommend read Toriko. Like, if you want to see a story that like has a dark continent, like very similar to the Hunter x Hunter dark continent, read Toriko. So read Toriko. Read One Piece. If you want like Hunter x Hunter type Nen battles, read JoJo. And then like start dipping into like classic mangas that are just like considered masterpieces. Like I still have a few to read. Snailium, you said, I only read manga, but I'd read a novel by Togashi. I would too. Whitebeard fan, you said you'd settle for posted outlines. I would too. Ethereal, you said you went through that with the new chapters too. I did that too, bro. I know I'm not the only one. New World Review carried the community. I've never watched New World Review, actually. Is Toriko on Viz? Yes, it is on Viz. I read the whole thing on Viz, actually. Ethereal, Toriko, Loki, bootleg, DBZ. It's really not, man. The anime is absolute garbage, but the manga is insane, bro. The manga is insane. Like, matter of fact, how about I just put you guys on to some of the Toriko manga right now? Let me show you some of the stuff I'm talking about. I could make a whole Toriko power scaling video, bro. I might do that someday. Hold on one second, chat. Give me 1 second here. Oh, man. I've been hunched in this chair doing streams too long. Let me just wrap this up. I want to just show you guys like one Toriko fight to give you guys kind of an idea of how crazy the fights get. I don't remember any of the chapters by number, so let me see if I can find something cool. Is this the one? I think this is the one I was thinking about. I haven't read this in a minute. I might have to do a reread. Was this the one I thought? Hold up. There's a specific fight that I remember reading, like when I first read Toriko. It's this, chap. Okay, so here's a couple things about Toriko that like make it very Hunter x Hunter-esque. I mean, literally, Toriko, these guys are gourmet hunters from Hunter x Hunter. That's what they are. They all are traveling around the world, going on missions, battling like the strongest things possible. And it's a world where like the more you eat, the more powerful you become. So there's like no limit to your strength. And then like similar to how in Hunter x Hunter they have like danger class levels, how like the Chimera Ants were like B rank, and then there's A rank, S rank above that. They have capture levels in this, and like if you reach capture level 100, you're a planetary being. And in Toriko, like they start out, everything's like level 5, level 10, and like level 20 is like city level, level 30 is like multi-city level, and it just goes up higher and higher. This is like in the very beginning of Toriko. Toriko's fighting this boss who can just create things with capture levels that just have question marks, and it's revealed they're all like level 80 beasts. But Momo, stop, bro. Dang, she's started scratching on the mic cord. But this is Toriko fighting this guy. Like, this is after like a crazy full-fledged arc. All of Toriko's team members have either died or they're just cooked, and it's just Toriko fighting the boss battle by himself now. The fight starts off, he gets his finger chopped off, and this dude is hitting him with this explosion technique. Now peep this. Like, Momo, could you relax, bro? I'm trying to explain to them how peak Toriko is. Hold up, chat. Let me put Momo in a different room real quick. Momo, come here. Come here. Come on. Come on. You coming over here, Mama? Oh, dang. Okay, I'll wrap this up quick, chat. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is like the very beginning of their fight, okay? Like every fight in Toriko, there's pretty much like a river of blood every battle. And they also do this like drawing tactic a lot where like Toriko mid-battle, his eyes turn white. I always thought that was a cool drawing technique. Oh yeah, and he has this technique like the folded spike punch. And like the stronger Toriko gets, like the higher the number increases to. So like in the beginning, if what the folded punch is, it's like he's hitting people multiple times in a single instant. So at the start of the series, he hits someone with like a 3 spike punch. And like a 3 spike punch like blows up a mountain. And then the more punches he adds to it, the more powerful it gets. So he's talking about here, he fought someone earlier. He's like, these guys are so strong. I hit someone with a 10-fold punch and it didn't even leave a mark on him. He's like, I need more punch. He's like, all right, 10's not enough. I need 11. He goes for 11, instantly gets his hand bit off, bro. It's like the power scaling in this manga is insane, actually. I love Toriko, bro. The power scale, it's like a power scaling guy's dream. He goes for an 11 spike punch. This guy's so strong, he just bites his hand off. Then in the next panel, Toriko's like, bro, it doesn't matter. He goes 12, and punches him with the stump of his hand, bro. He does a 12 spike punch with the stump of his hand. Bro's getting cooked by it. And like you can see the impact of the punches. This is how it goes. It's like boom, 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 getting hit by each punch. So he's getting hit by 12 spike. And he's just flying through the air. Like, he's like, dang, he punched me with the stump of his hand. And then Toriko pops back up. This is like the intimidation death faces they do in this manga are insane. Like when Toriko's about to kill someone, this is how he looks to them. Looks like a demon, bro. Look at this joint. This is how Toriko's enemies see him, bro, when he's about to kill them. Look at this. Like Toriko's coming in there. He's charging up his knife attack where he can slice things with his hand. And this is just like how his opponents see him when he's like this. And he's going in for the slash. Look at this, bro. He does the slash. The dude does a backflip, dodges it. And then mid backflip, he spits more explosives at him, blows up Toriko's left hand entirely. And then Toriko with no left hand throws a right haymaker and does a 13 spike. This is the biggest number he's ever done in the entire series, bro. He just got his arm blown off. He says 13 spike punch. Hits him with this joint. And look at the eyes, bro. Look at this, bro. He hits him with the 13 spike punch, cracks him with it. And this dude, after getting cracked by it, grabs his arm, grabs Toriko as he's being hit by the 13 spike punch, flying through the air, and slams Toriko into, like, with the momentum of the spike punch, slams him into this, like, ice pillar. Look, he flips Toriko around and slams him into it while his face is, like, broken. And this is just, like, half of the fight. It keeps going. And this is nothing, bro. This is early arc stuff. This is early arc Toriko, bro. Like, the fights in the later arc make this look like child's play, bro. Yeah, like, no, the anime is a 0 out of 10. It's the worst anime adaptation I've ever seen. Like, if you watch the anime is like, the anime is, it was for children. Like, they took out all the blood. They took out all the violence. It has an anime-only ending. It's a completely different thing. It's not even the same. The anime is not watchable, bro. The anime's trash. Like, Toriko is like if you fused Baki with One Piece and Hunter x Hunter all into one. That's what Toriko is, the manga. The anime is like the 4Kids One Piece anime. That's what it is. So if you guys are like dealing with some Hunter x Hunter cope, just read Toriko. You will, like, especially when you see like how they go and explain like how different abilities work and stuff. It's insane, bro. You'll love it. You'll love it. And like, these fights you're seeing here are nothing compared to the stuff in later arcs. And then they have a dark continent in this story too. It's called the Gourmet World, and it's the exact same premise as the Dark Continent. Like, the whole first part of the story is just it's literally just in a lake, and then the whole rest of the Gourmet World is like the size of Jupiter. But yeah, and it starts out really good too. So I say get into this manga. And it's a complete story. Honestly, I'm probably going to do a reread of it. I'll probably do a reread of it, bro. But yeah, the anime is unwatchable. It's trash. It's filth. But alright, guys. I say that's enough for this stream. I might stream some Skyrim. Bro, literally from the moment I woke up till right now, I've done nothing but just work on my YouTube channel all day. So I might relax. I've literally put in a 13-hour day here. Just done nothing but YouTube. But I don't know. Maybe I'll relax, or maybe I'll just keep going. I don't even know. But alright, guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Gyro, you said Toriko Book Club. I'll probably do a live stream on Toriko, bro. Like, the power scaling in this manga, it has my favorite power scaling out of any story, because like there's a lot of really interesting powers, and the scaling is like meticulously done, and the feats are just hype. King Shadow, you missed the debates, man. You missed the debates earlier, bro. But all right, guys, I've just been working all day, so I might chill out for now. But yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all the comments. And yeah, I might do a Toriko live stream in the future, like maybe even this week. And I'm thinking tomorrow's debate is going to be Sanji versus Zoro. So yeah, King Shadow, if you want to be in that, feel free to be in that. But all right, but yeah, and also tomorrow I got to spend a good amount of time turning my rough drafts of these scripts into final drafts. Like I have the rough draft for Gone is overpowered, so I need to finish that, polish that up, and make that proper. But all right, guys, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the comments. I appreciate it. Wicked, you said you just joined. Oh, I'm sorry, bro. Yeah, we've been going for a minute. How long is this stream? Probably like 2 hours. Oh no, it's not. It's been an hour and 10. But I might do a gaming stream after this, maybe. I might. But I've literally just been working all day. From the moment I woke up till right now. So I might just chill. I don't know. But all right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate it.